news. The good news is that there are a few bright spots in the US and India. The other good news is that the other good news is that that was in the 70s. But there are two or three things to think about that. The first one is it took a long time. It didn't take 1 or 2 years. The second one is at that time it left about 24 economies bankrupt. So you have to expect that countries that did not manage debt levels well and so on, that they actually got into trouble. And we should expect some countries to get into trouble.
And I'm sure somebody will ask me about that, but I'll hold it for that.
Okay, thank you very much. Second row here in the middle, please, with the hand up with the pen. Thank you.
We think that the burden of debt is hindering progress towards achieving the SDGs and net zero. And if so, isn't it time to move on from the common framework approach to something that is speedier, offers some real debt relief rather than no debt relief, and is a bit more comprehensive than the common framework?
And job creation is quite important. Like I said, young people in the global south, that is what we have to do, create jobs for them. You're not going to create jobs from the top. You have to start from the right education and the right skilling institutes, and then create the right environment for businesses, entrepreneurs and the like to flourish. And we've discussed a number of interesting ideas with him which are in the plan. We've been very helpful in the past with schools. We're trying to expand not just that, but go to higher education and skilling institutes with Morocco and partner with them and other countries like that on this space. I've visited skilling institutes in a number of countries now that the bank is running. I've also visited entrepreneurial sort of incubators. In Nairobi, we have an incubator that's connected to climate, meaning young people who want to launch ventures that have an impact, processing of fruits to how you use water in a home. Those kinds of people get a home there where they get in that incubator access to not just the network and technology and others like them, but also to some amount of capital. And interestingly, 3,000 businesses have been, 3% were run by women. And I met 4 or 5 of the businesses there, and you can see the growth and energy and the jobs they are generating. So there's a series of these things that are part of the World Bank's playbook, which we are discussing with a number of countries. I believe that the most important thing the bank can do is not just be a money bank, but be a knowledge bank. And the knowledge bank idea is to have the right policies, the right regulations, the right principles in place to create the right foundations at which money then can be put to use to help deliver that growth. We've got a lot of people who do that. They're very talented. They write about a number of topics in the world. I want to get them to focus on the country strategic partnership frameworks that we draw up with every country, including with Morocco, and get the knowledge that they have put into that framework so the right priorities are agreed on day one for the next 3 years. And then the money goes into those. When you create the right way of thinking, which Morocco has done with us well over the last few years, I think you can get much further than not having the clear principles agreed in right up front. So the bank can be very helpful in knowledge. We're trying to construct our knowledge bank on 5 verticals: people, prosperity, planet, infrastructure, and digital. People is education, health, social transfer programs. Prosperity is jobs and access to credit for MSMEs and others, as well as trade and economic policy. Planet is mitigation, adaptation, biodiversity, water use, forest, infrastructure everyone knows, and digital because it's impacting everything from governance to inclusion. And then at the bottom, I want to create a way of measuring impact, which I was referring to, is to how many women went to school, how many women got a better job, how many people got a better job because of skilling institutes, how many private sector dollars, emissions, that kind of way of measuring what we are delivering. That knowledge bank to me is the most important part of our institution to get the right framework going for our money to be put to use.
قبل ما تخرجوا ما تنسوش تابوناو في العشان يوتيوب وبارطاجيو الفيديو وديروا جيم وتابعوا الدار على مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي.